Are we becoming a society of renters? Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas, Washington channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm excited you're here today because we're talking about a very important topic in our society, and that is owning versus renting a home and where the future of home ownership and renting is going in the United States. If you're new to the channel, hi, I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne. I'm excited you're here. We run a real estate team in Clark County, Vancouver, Camas, Washington. So if you need help professionally buying or selling a home, our information's down below. And don't forget to sign up for Weekend Happenings with Hannah. We send out this weekly email every single week. It's got the best events happening in Clark County. It's super fun, and we promise we won't spam you. Well, let's get to talking about what our video is about today, and that is renting versus owning in the United States, and specifically here in Clark County, Washington. Quick overview on what's been happening the last really decade or two. We are seeing that in some cities in America that renters are actually outpacing homeowners. So more than 50% of people are renting their home. I don't have the data in front of me, but not that long ago, probably 20 years ago, more than 75% of people in America were homeowners. And now we're looking at 50-50, and in some states, in some areas, more renters than homeowners. Homeownership has always been a staple of the American dream, but we're seeing more and more people opt for renting. Obviously, there's a time and a place when renting is right and owning a home is right. You don't have to own a home at all times in your life. That doesn't always make sense. But, we've got this article here from Rent Reports that says, hey, there's actually a lot of Gen Z, millennials, singles, people without kids who choose to rent because they want an easier lifestyle. They don't want to have to deal with maintenance. But what if you're forced into renting instead of choosing to rent? Well, I wanted to find some data for you guys on home ownership versus rental numbers in Clark County, Washington. And I looked, and unfortunately I didn't really find anything solid. We don't have some sort of central database for this type of information, so I just don't have it. Sorry. I'm going to share with you what I have found through local news articles and through my own experience as a real estate professional in Clark County. The first thing I wanted to share with you is actually just recently this year, 2025, the city of Vancouver enacted a rental registration requirement. So if you're a landlord and you own a rental home, you have to put it on this registration and you have to pay an annual fee, of course, more taxes. And there's required inspections on a regular basis. I think it's going to be every year when they put it into place. So that will maybe give us some better data in the future for rentals in the county, or I guess that will only be for the city, but maybe better data coming soon. When we're talking single family homes, right? We're talking detached homes where you own your own four walls, you own the land beneath you. We're talking townhomes. Almost all of those products, from what I see driving around the city every day, every week, is that most of those are built to sell. There are communities that are built for rent. I think there are very few single family home communities built for rent in our area, though there are some. I'm really seeing townhouses fall into that category, if anything. Townhouses are the part of the market that have been targeted as being built for rent. I'll give you guys a couple examples I've seen recently here in East County. One is Thrive at Green Mountain. Thrive at Green Mountain is a townhouse community in the mega Green Mountain subdivision. And I was just in here the other day. These are beautiful units on the exterior, very aesthetically pleasing. They've got a nice grass area in the middle, and they were built for the developer to keep and rent out. If the developer didn't want them ever, they would likely sell them all in one package to another investment company. They would not sell them as individual units. We have some clients that live in these, and though they're very pretty, they said that the quality is low. They can hear all their pipes flushing in the wall very loudly, which tells me that their insulation quality was very low. Whenever you're building a product for rent, you're usually building it with the cheapest materials possible because you're trying to make the most money every month. You're not trying to have the best product and sell it on the open market. You're just trying to get people to rent it out. So it's unfortunate because those are such beautiful units. I know that there are plenty of people that would love to own those as a first home or own them when they downsize and they don't have kiddos anymore, but they will be for rent forever. Another neighborhood I know of coming soon with townhomes built for rent is the Harmony Heights neighborhood. Harmony Heights will have about 170 single-family homes in the middle up for sale. We've already sold some of them. We're gonna make a video in the community soon for you guys. But then around the perimeter, we're gonna have about 130 townhouses built for rent by the developer to be retained by the developer. They're gonna be built by David Weekley Homes. That's who they contracted to build them, but they're never going to be for sale for the public. I don't have the opportunity to see what those spec sheets are like and what their quality of materials is like, but I can only imagine it's much lower because, again, they're trying to get as much margin as possible, get as much profits every single month. There was recently an article published by the Columbian, shout out to the Columbian, we love the Columbian for all the research they do, about folks seeing more apartment buildings being built in Clark County. So I'm gonna read you this excerpt from the article. Clark County residents should expect to see more mid and large-sized apartment complexes built over the next 2 decades to meet the demand for housing, especially affordable housing. That was one key takeaway from a July 30th county work session on how to implement code changes for middle housing adopted last year. I cannot tell you how many times over and over and over again I get feedback from community members that they don't want more apartment complexes. I hear it from people who rent. I hear it from people who live in apartments. I hear it from people who live in single family homes that they own. Most people just don't see their life forever in an apartment complex because it feels unstable, right? You're just, you're in an apartment. Like, you know that it's not yours. You know that something could change. You know that your rent could go up drastically. You've got a big parking lot in the middle. It just doesn't feel as cozy. It doesn't really embody the American dream. But we're gonna see more and more of them because the state of Washington, Clark County, and the city of Vancouver, all of our governments here, they want dense housing. That is what they want. That is what people have voted for. They've voted for these folks in office, and they want housing density. That's their solution to the housing crisis. Apartment complexes are only for rent. Apartment units would never be for sale here. Condoizing apartment units here is just not really a thing. And we're not really gonna see very many new condos because of the way the condo law is in Washington. So again, more rental units on the market and not as many homeownership options for people. A study performed by the Building Industry Association of Washington found that Clark County is behind about 15,000 units of housing. And so we really do have a lot of catching up to do. And that would be for both rentals and for homes that people can own. So we need to keep building. We need to keep developing. It's just unfortunate when we see a lot of those homes turn into rentals forever and we take away that opportunity to own, especially for first-time home buyers. We've made a whole video about townhomes in Clark County, so I'd recommend you guys go watch that, especially if you're first-time homeowners who maybe have a smaller budget and you want to start with something manageable. I really love a townhome as a first-time home buyer product. Let us know down below in the comments what you think about rentals versus homes being built for sale here in Clark County, Washington. We'd love to hear your take. And of course, if you need help professionally selling or buying a home in Vancouver, Camas, or Clark County, Washington, my team at Dubyne Realty Group would love to serve you. Our contact information is down below. You can text or email us. We can't wait to see you guys next week and talk to you soon. Bye.